This year's been hard. I've never been challenged so much in my life, and I wanted to quit. The stress gave me ulcers. I'm going to encourage and empower women on a daily basis.
Welcome to the TCS WMN Podcast. Let's get started.
I don't know if this was a good idea for me to go last, or I should have gone first to get the nerves out. But I'm here now. So we've had amazing women up here on stage. Raise your hand if you guys have picked up some kind of information with the lax-free speakers. Yeah. Okay, cool. Bye. I don't actually need to be up here. But, I've been asking Brian to come up here. And so I prepared a speech. I've been working on it for weeks. I probably have 17 hours into it. And actually, it's 17 pages long. So this is what I did with it. I actually read my speech. I got 3 paragraphs in to Daniel, and he was like, yeah, and put that away. I was like, why? He was like, that's a great speech. Actually, you could add it as a chapter to your book, but it's not real life. And I was like, I know, but I worked so hard on it. I wrote it, and then I rewrote it, and then I scratched that, and I rewrote it again. And so anybody that wants a copy of my 17-page speech, let me know, and I'll email it to you. But that's it. That's it. I went from that to this card. That's what I got today. So hopefully you didn't pay to come here to not learn anything. Hopefully I gave you something that was worth your time. So my name is Sandra Albert. I am the vice president of Big Country Contractors. I don't know who thought that was a good idea to make me vice president of construction company, because I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm 2 years in. I'm getting better. But I come from a cosmetology background. I come from real estate. I come from operations. I own my own collection agency. And then here I am, in construction. So killing it, I would think. But so I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, what 2024 looked like for me. And we'll just start off with that. I'm glad it's over. So my first word I'm going to talk about is perfection. And clearly with my speech, I'm all about perfection. Everything in my world needs to be perfect. My hair, my nails, my outfit, I strive for perfection. In fact, most of you know, this is not my hair. I needed to order my hair to get put in for today's event, and today's event's been booked for a long time, but the way that I run my life, which is 100 miles an hour, I didn't order my hair to get here in time. So I had to go to the hair store. Yeah, most of my hair. I had to go to the hair store, and first of all, I am actually not the right ethnicity to walk into the hair store that I went into, and the section of blonde, there was one color of blonde, and it was banana yellow. And I said, oh, okay, we'll try this. So I get the hair, and I go see my hairdresser 2 nights ago, and I was like, we're just gonna we'll highlight, we'll put it in, and then we'll tone everything. And she's like, okay, yeah, no problem. And so we tone it, and I get up from the sink, and I was like, this is granny gray. I mean, straight gray, not a little bit gray. So if you get close enough, you can kind of see today that it's still a little bit gray. But that's my life, right? It's never perfect, but I strive for perfection. But I make a lot of mistakes. I strive to read the contracts that we get in, and I'm going to study it. I'm going to know it. And then there's a section I missed. Let me tell you, those sections that I've missed in the contracts have cost me tens of thousands of dollars because I actually wasn't paying attention, because I was too busy being perfect and not realizing that I'm actually not perfect, and that I actually make a lot of mistakes. And I'm thankful for God's grace, because those mistakes that I have made have been costly to my team, costly in leadership, costly personally, But I've taken that aspect of needing perfection, and I really had to humble myself and say, for me, I strive to be one way, but God loves me the other way. And it's being perfectly imperfect. My second word for you is grit. Well, 2 words, grit and grace. Most of you know, some of you may not know, that I work for what we call D Good. You'll have an opportunity to meet him as you become involved in TCS. He is not here with us this weekend. We're just super, super busy, but when you get to know him, he's like a giant teddy bear. Like everyone in the room is like, Daniel's here. We love him. Right over to him and hug him. But I'm going to tell you, at home, he's Mufasa. He is a lion. When he will bite your head off. Like, see how these textured walls are? That's him. Like he is, when I looked up grit, sandpaper, grit, the strongest grit is between 40 and 50 grit. He's like a 10. He's really rough. And when I came to work for him, I didn't know that, I didn't know that side of him. And as you get to know me, that I love people, I love relationships. I'm like the hippie of the office, like, oh my God, come here, let me squeeze you. And as I worked with him and he rubbed his grit across me, I was like, oh, that hurts. Like, I don't really like that. You guys remember that Eve scrub, that apricot scrub? It was awful. Thank you, Jesus, for Tree Hut sugar scrub, because the apricot scrub was too rough. And that sting is too rough to me sometimes. But what it's done is it's given me the ability to thicken my skin. And in construction, you need to thicken your skin because it's hard. It's really hard. In fact, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. This last year, I questioned of like, what am I doing? Like, why am I subjecting myself to something that has been so hard? But I realized that the grit that Daniel brings into my life, it gives me the ability to handle the hard situations. It's toughened me up. It's given me the ability to say that you're not hurting my feelings. I love people and I love relationships and I love pizza parties. So one of the ways that I win a lot of contracts is I send a pizza party. These pizza parties are like, they go over the top, and it's something so simple that you can do in your business to show people that you love them. And that's what I do. Like, I am like the pizza girl. Everyone knows now that I've been sending pizzas, and all my vendors are like, hey, when do we get our next pizza party? You're on the list, you're on the list. And so because I shower people with love, I expect the same thing in return. I expect that I have given you the most amazing customer service, that I had given you I've gone above and beyond the contract that we've agreed to. And I expect at the end that you're going to do the same thing for me when you pay me, right? But then you don't pay me. And then you don't, 30 days and 60 days and 90 days goes by. And now my feelings are hurt because I served you at such a high level, and I gave you the pizza party, and I loved you, and I sent you the emails, and I attended all the Zoom calls. And like, I needed you to love me back. I needed the grace, and you didn't give it to me. You didn't give it to me. And so that's where the grits come in, is that it's toughened my skin so that I don't get hurt when you don't meet your end of the bargain. And that's happened a lot this year. I feel like I have become this like hit girl. Where's my next cash coming from? Like, I'm running from check to check to check. And when you don't give me the money, I'm like, why? Where's it coming from? And I've realized that it's the grace that saves me, because we'll get into it a little bit later, but I've had to be challenged, a bit challenged in my character, resilience, the ability to bounce back, adapt, recover after challenging situations. 48 hours ago, I was sitting in a meeting across from a general contractor. We are at the end of our project, and this was, I would say, a significant, large dirt job. And through the project, we started to realize that our bid was not accurate, and that the amount of excess spoils that were on the job, it was going to become a problem. And, in working with the general, we really expected that the general understood these conditions and that we would come together at the end with a significant change order, and that the general would take care of us, because that's what we do. We take care of you and you're going to take care of us. And so throughout the project, we realized that the general himself had pieces of the project that he had subbed out to other vendors. So electricians and conduit and asphalt, and the amount of dirt on this project, which was already excessive, continued to now get pushed into my pile. And the GC was like, go, get this dirt out of here. And he kept realizing, why does that pile keep getting bigger? We already don't have enough in the job to remove my little section of dirt. And now you're just flooding it. And so when we came to the end of the project, where I thought I was going to get this great change order, I was going to help cover the cost for all the trucking, which was over $180,000. He came to me with a deduct change order to deduct from my contract $90,000, because I didn't move fast enough for him to get the dirt out of the way, which wasn't even my dirt. So now he's charging me to move dirt that I didn't account for, that some of it is his dirt. And here we are, challenging and frustrated. I sat at this table and I thought, why? My customer service to you has been so good, and I thought you were going to take care of me, and you didn't. And at the end, here we are discussing who's going to cover this cost and where does this deduct change order come from. And I'm going to tell you that it's not going to end well. And that's the type of year Bay Countries have. We serve, and give, and give, and give. And in the end, nobody's here to serve you. Nobody's here to give you the grace that you have given. Character. Oh my God. 2024. I'll tell you, I entered into contract with the big GC out of Chicago, and I did the pizza party, and I did all the loving, and it was great. Our working relationship was going very well until about halfway through the project, and we started to have some problems and delay of payment. And if you guys know, in the contracting world, delay in payment, payment usually comes from, your lien releases, and you haven't filled this out right. And, we play a game, a dance of who's got the lien releases and what have you gotten from the vendors. And I had a payment of about $400,000 that was owed to me. And they said to me, you don't have all your lien releases in. And I was like, well, you're right. I have one left. We had to use a small company to do a grease pump out. It was about a $1,200 invoice. And so I reached out to the company and I was like, hey, you're like the last vendor that I need this release from so I can get this money. And unfortunately, the lady doing the books, she was like 90. She was like, I didn't even know how to fill this out. I was like, okay, great. Where are you? We're like 4 hours away from you. Okay, well, that doesn't really mind. Okay, well, I really need you to get this filled out. Like, any way that you could have the owner and, kind of assist you. And yeah, sure, I'll have him help me. Well, like 2 weeks goes by and I'm calling her and just not getting it done. And I realized that this invoice has actually been paid online. So let me just take this to the GC, show them that it's been paid and they can release my $400,000 payment. And I submitted to the GC and the GC comes back and was like, yeah, sorry, that's not going to work. I mean, this is proof that I paid them. Yeah, we actually need them to sign the waiver. Well, at this point, we're 90 days into the project. And I had been doing everything that they've asked me to do. All the waivers, all the paperwork. And it pushed me to a breaking point. I decided to grab every person that's ever been involved, management-wise, into a giant email. And I basically told this general contractor that I was going to come back. I was going to rip everything out of the ground, and that on their brand new asphalt parking lot, in hot pink paint, I was going to write that this specific contractor doesn't pay their contracts. Within 45 minutes, the owner of the company called because I sent this massive email out. And I went crazy. Like, I am not a crazy person. I love people. I love relationships. I love everything about serving. And I just couldn't believe that I had to get to a point that I was super unprofessional. Like, that's not who I am. I'm changing now who I am inside of an industry that's impacting my well-being. Can't let that happen. And so it made me question, like, how did I get to this point? How did I allow this situation and allow these people to push me to a breaking point that was unhealthy? Like, what situations are you in today that is making you question your character? What is pushing you today that's making you realize that, maybe this isn't the situation I need to be in, or this isn't the way to handle it? And I'll tell you, as a woman in construction, I get so much pushback. I can argue and fight and email and call different GCs looking for payment. I can spend several hours doing this, and Mr. Good will step in and make one call and my check's in the mail. And I'm like, that's so unfair. Like, I have worked so hard to get this money. And I feel like I'm constantly having to prove myself. And is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I don't carry the title as president? I'm not really sure. But I do know that it has made me question my character and what am I going to allow this year to impact my decisions. Mentorship. I'm going to tell you that I could not get through this year without my TCS family. Some of you may know, I talked about it a little bit in the past, but I've always struggled with suicide. I struggled with it around the age of 15, and I've struggled with it through today, and I will continue to struggle with it for the rest of my life. It's a demon that I carry, but it's a demon that I share. It's a demon that I share with my friends, with my family, with my TCS family, so that when things go bad, I just need you to check in on me. I'm going to tell you that when it comes to mentorship, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have those people to check in on me. Being a part of TCS Women, it's something I've wanted for a long time. I mean, I remember talking to Brian and being like, please, can you send me in? I want to. I want to impact people. I want to serve people. But in order for me to do that, I really need to take care of myself. And how do I take care of myself? And taking care of myself through going to the gym, through therapy, through my mentorship, by allowing people to pour and feed into me so that I can pour and feed into you. To be the best leader starts with being an even better student. And I'm learning that on a daily basis. My last word is serve. So last weekend, we got a major snowstorm. We haven't had a snowstorm like that in probably 6-7 years. We're in Maryland, you get a little snow and it goes away. This snowstorm that came in was going to stick around for a while. And I decided that it's going to be cold. The crews were going to start at 10 o'clock at night. I knew they'd be going all night, and I wanted to serve them. So I decided that I'm going to make chili, which, by the way, I've never made chili ever in my life. So it was like, let me get on TikTok and find like the best chili recipes and then pick from which ones I liked and how I was going to make it my own. And so I told Daniel, I said, I'm gonna make chili. And he was like, yeah, okay. I don't think he really believed me that I was gonna do that. Like, you're not really gonna do that. But so we prepped all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I actually was in the field until like Sunday night at like 7 o'clock. And I was like, I can get home. I need to start on this chili. So I went home, started on the chili. And I realized that I'm not gonna have enough to serve my team. And so at about 9:30, I called Daniel and I said, checking in, how's things going? We were staging. We were about to start at 10 p.m. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to the store to get more chili sauce. He was like, Sandra, what? I was like, yeah. You're really doing that? Yeah. He was like, why? Because that's what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to serve. He was like, that's ridiculous. Like, the storm is moving in, and this is crazy. Yeah, he was like, this. I'm like, well, I'm doing it. So I go to Walmart, and I go to get the rest of my stuff, which, by the way, I'd been there earlier to get the ingredients for chili, and I put jalapenos in the chili. And I go in to get more jalapenos and the other ingredients. And even when you go to Walmart in like the produce section, everything's in crates. Well, when I was there like 4 hours earlier, there was like 100 jalapenos in the crate. But I go back 4 hours later and there's not a jalapeno. What happened to the 100 jalapenos? Like, this is snow. Where did all the jalapenos go? Which is a question I have because I don't actually know what happened to all those jalapenos. But so I get all the ingredients. I go home. I make the rest. I'm up till 1 a.m. Get the chili, and then wake up about 4. We're all running logs, snow, and crew, and who's where, and what's what. There's a break in the weather about 1 o'clock, so I decide, all right, it's time to go out, go deliver the chili. And I show up, and the first person that I served was my superintendent. And he was like, oh, yeah, this hits the spot. And I said, well, it's great, because that's what I'm here for. And so as I continued on, I'd filled my truck with burritos and hand warmers and sour cream and cheese and Rice Krispies and like everything you needed to be filled and loved. Some of the crew was like, man, it was like at this point now, 2 o'clock, some of them hadn't had anything to eat. They had been on the job since 4 a.m. So going around to all the crews, and I finally end up in the town that we service. And Daniel, I pull up and Daniel said, you're never going to believe this. I was like, what? And he was like, the news crew is here. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, and I want to feature the chili lady. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, it's your moment to shine, girl. I was like, okay. So, here I am serving my career chili, and the news media is there. But, it wasn't about the media. It wasn't about the 5 minutes of fame that turned into some ridiculous amount of people that saw it. Like, my aunt in Maine saw this story, which is crazy to me. But it was about serving. Like, what is your purpose? What are you here for? And if you don't have purpose in your life, it's because you're not serving. And for me, serving is everything that I do. Whether it's serving as a mom, whether it's serving as a wife, whether it's serving as a boss. Like, if you're finding lack of purpose in your life, it's because you're not serving. Because when you're serving, you're fulfilling. I wake up every day and literally make phone calls to my team and say, how can I serve you today? What do you need? What technology do you need? What equipment do you need? What machines do I need to get on the job to make it easier for you? And so I encourage you all to look at your team, whether it's your home team, right? When we talk about culture, I was thinking about this too, like women, we fix culture, right? Like, let's look at our houses. When the kids are sick, who's fixing it? Mom. When we're out of groceries, who's getting it? Mom. When the hot water heater breaks, we don't fix it, but we know who to call, right? When your 5-year-old comes up to you and she's heartbroken because somebody's hurt her feelings, on the playground by making fun of her shoes, you, as a woman, as a mom, you know how to fix it. You know how to fix the culture in your business too, because you do it at home. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. What are the needs? How can I serve? And how can I give back? This year's been hard. I've never been challenged so much in my life. And I wanted to quit. I wanted to throw in the towel because I thought, I'm not cut for this.
The stress gave me ulcers. The sleepless nights. I thought, what do I actually have to get to these women? Because I'm a mess. It's hard. I traded in my heels for work boots. I actually operated equipment this year. I operated equipment because we're under so much pressure. We have full-time babysitters that sit on the job that literally, it is their job to relay to my client what equipment was used, who operated the equipment, what was done, and what wasn't done. And my client doesn't read what was done. My client reads what wasn't done. So every day, they know everything I'm not doing. And it's hard. The pressure is real. And how do you handle that? How do I become the leader that I need to be when deep inside of me, I can't meet expectation? I want to be perfect. And I'm reminded daily that I'm not. Whether it's by the world, whether it's by the client, I'm reminded that I'm not perfect. But I'll tell you that it's God's grace and it's God's love as to why I'm here today. And with God's grace, it gives me the ability to wake up the next day and just say, I got this. And then I'm going to serve and I'm going to push forward and I'm going to encourage and empower women on a daily basis. And I encourage each one of you to do the same. My job is to pour into you, and your job is to then pour into others. And what are you doing to do that? How are you pouring into other women? Are you mentoring? Are you attending the calls? Are you getting involved in your community? Are you putting out posts on social media trying to reach out to others? What are you doing? It's our job to change the industry. Well, we can't change the industry by just talking about it. We have to put it into action. We are soldiers sent out to make a difference. So I encourage each one of you to continue on your journey, that you don't let the hard times take over, that you're reminded that the women that you sit next to right now are going through the same troubles that you're going through. Connect, love, pour into them, and I promise you, it'll pay you back. Thank you.